This day 793 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yami. If you'd like to sponsor a company share or more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yami, please contact me directly. It would be very greatly appreciated. So we're doing the Simon Tov Sadi Ches, Sif Test to Yud Zayin. Shechting on Shabbos and Yontif. Afilo Shabbos Yontif smooth Sumuchim Zel was that. Even Shabbos Yontif are adjacent to each other. No like Shabbos, and the calf was born on Shabbos. Mutter Yontif was on Yontif. Yontif Mutter b'Shabbos. Shabbos. If it's Yontif, born on Yontif, it's on Shabbos. Omeres Lachila, as long as it's the mother was destined designated to eat, but we call Chadashav, and the calf is born at a complete term. After the Beit shall be under Surah Field, but time goes to Mesachila, Mitam Achana, egg which is laid on the altar is also, even if the mother hen is designated to eat. Mitam Achana, because of preparation. The Kamayim Chal Yontif Risha, we went to Risha, assuming Achana, whereas if Yontif comes out Sunday, it's also because it was Muchan on Shabbos. The egg which is laid today was complete yesterday. Named to Shabbos Yontif, will come out to Shabbos prepared for Yontif. And since that's the case, that there is a scenario of Yontif after Shabbos, where it also says they would go to every Yontif, which is probably seen tough that all eggs laid on Yontif are also. So why shouldn't there be a calf? The reason is because no preparation relevant by a calf. After basic sheep may ima and really got a frach would say saruya. It's really by an egg when it's in mother's intestines, and it's not you can't grow a chick. It would say saruya when it was when it comes out. It is suitable to grow a chick. And so it's coming out, made it into a keli. I don't think I've ever seen this far before. The egg became a keli when it was laid. Shabbi shachli close you can call that chonim. I should get an ego. So it's by calf. Kachli shemei imo kamo achar lida. So it's no qualitative difference between when it's in the womb and immediately after it is born, which is a big chiddush. Kasavatur ego shel b'yontif. If you have a calf which is born yontif, mutter shachli chulei. After shechted on that day, as long as you know that it is complete term. As long as it stood up on the ground. So we know it has not been that in the birth process its limbs have not been crushed. They asked about it's explicit in the Chulin, the base Rechem ain't I'm not concerned that the womb is going to create crushed bones or dismembered limbs. But to answer your dad, Simon Tundun Ches, because of the wish, no, let if you have when the fetus is born, I'm not concerned with the dislocated limbs. I feel in rainbow so even if you see something wrong with it, that it can't stand, you can check immediately in Kol Chadashav if it is a full term. Ayin Shom. That's why the Ramah wrote here in this halacha. You read in Gangan Shifis Gabekarka. It has to still stand the ground. I'm sorry, if you're going to find something wrong with the internal organs. Mishabur says the chashash not just something wrong, but actual trephus. And there he's showing when it was not necessary. But the body will answer the priest of Gabekarka. The week they don't need a calf to stand up on the ground. There was a near which would indicate that there's no problem with the internal organs. You don't require it. Even though by a bird which has been clawed, you need to check it out. I've got the open age is third b'dika. Come with the shokto. Uh, you, you're still allowed to shech the calf. Lokshin reyesuk which is bar. No. Sorry. That, we're going to see later on. By ocean nidras tzarich b'dika. You got become going to show you're allowed to shech it on yotzif and not choshev for the reyes for any problems as we shall see. Zem neshishon meisleis conscious, but that's only if it was 24 hours after the episode occurred. So therefore, even though you have to check, but it's more likely that there is no problem. But here, so it's more likely you'll find a problem. That's therefore you should only check it if it was mafis agabe karka. Again, the problem is that if you check shlotzor, we don't want to be checking shlotzor and yontif. It's not because of shash kashas. Because there's kashas, we can check afterwards. We'll see if they've already premium. There's a problem. Ramir, you don't want to check the shlotzor, so therefore you want it to be mafis agabe karka specifically in order. Not for kashas purposes. Because it's not a shmash shas, it's all the time the Gemara. But today we don't know precisely when, how to determine that that it was full term calf. Ain't shochtim ego. Ain't shochtim ego. Lishmi. Therefore, you can't check a calf until the eve of the 8th day after it is born. The base. Bam was the kind of tamus, an animal which is in danger. Is dangerously ill. You're afraid it's going to die. And it's circular. We don't need it. Shekvar saw 2 dozen because you already ate your meal. Elamachmas say no who shochet. Because you don't want to suffer loss. Because I sleep shouldn't eat shech unless there's a possibility of eating a gazais of roast from this animal from before shkia. Here shows if there's enough time, then you can check that even he's not going to eat. That's enough time to be suitable to eat. Called Roy Labila and Bila Makavasbo. Mishabur adds, even he had no das to eat it. I mean, however you buy Mechel, have a since he wanted to eat, he could have eaten. Avagav limiting the Chatchila Mishum Hol, even though you don't not matir normally the Chatchila to go ahead and do something on account of oil. After all, now to cook from Yontif to a week, they've long been on Hoel Mikma Arachim. Don't say, well, it's just maybe guests will come. But Chazi, therefore, it's considered to be roy and therefore you have to cook on Yontif. Rashi's Bible saying tough kuf gimel. That's what we're going to see. Can you come across nevertheless? Mishum have say mamono itiru. Account of the potential amount they lost, they're permitted. I feel below oil, and the truth is, even without oil, Gomer Belibo, such a person concludes definitively in his heart, Mishum have say mamono that in order not to lose his money, it's worth lechol kazais bosa. It's worth it to kazais, and it has in mind to still eat kazais. You try kazais with shchita. And he exercises without shechting. Says here in brackets, can you fire some looking kosher down the rabbi and Shabbat? Obviously, have to see the Gemara right now he's talking about. You can sell a shona tour. Tour writes as follows: Bemis against clay, and can yeshos be'om lechol man kazayis b'yom. And yeah, with eating kazayis, theoretically be able to eat kazayis before nightfall. Freelance shows be'om lebodkol or natko. Even if there's enough time during the day to check it out and to butcher it, yochel lechol below dika. Can eat without checking. The interesting lesson is that those who infer from this language that Tursvei is lechol dafka. You have to specifically eat. Lo sagi b'yochol echol. It's not good enough that you can eat. That's the Bach. The Beinira. Arukh rejects this. He says the hidden blood place in Sham. It's a clear place in there. B'sachim Sham. B'sachim there. The mind is feeling there. I mean, hoel answer lechol dafka. You apply hoel. You don't have to specifically eat. El Turkamash, something else. The Rotze, if he wants to eat, you can eat kazais without checking, without butchering. Even though you're not allowed to normally eat before you check out the lungs. On account of the laws here, they let you eat even before the lungs are checked. It's the same thing. And you're compelled to say this. Look at Echitir Abshain shows Dog. Because if not, how could they be matir to check? Even if there's no time to check, and you can't eat. So it must be they permit you actually to eat without bedika in this dire circumstance. Um, that's what it means. It says even not time to butcher it and check it first, and you still check it. Brackets here, he seems says I am bagraz seafood olive. When he uses bork Moshe Sabdev, that means the graz. Altani is not so happy with this. Maybe Mishnah is not either. Mishnah Berurah says some Achronim say you have to have enough time to skin it and check it. As Shur Yaakov said, that is only by young goats and sheep where you don't normally find adhesions in the lungs. Then you can be lenient. But a large animal, there has to be enough time to slaughter, to skin it and check it. Which says if there's enough time to shkia tifon in the kazayis, tzli roasted, you can rely on the Shulchan Aruch and be lenient. But that's only it's a chapir. It's caveat. It's only that by the time you see 2 stars, not 3, because then it's yontav. There's enough time. There's enough time to skin it and butcher it and check and eat from the kazayis. Then you'll have to shecht. This is separate Achronim who wrote to be maker like the Shulchan Aruch. So which including Shulchan. So he says, okay, this will be maker that you can, if there's enough time to eat before Shkia and to finish everything else by saying go chavim, so then we can allow it. Yudav loytiru davar zeh rak b'sukenes is only allowed by an animal who's in danger. Velo b'biriya, not in a healthy animal. Shetim sukenes b'yeshos. Now she allowed in a endangered animal in dangerous conditions when there's enough time. You too, I feel have shita soor. They allowed you even to skin the animal im habasis kaka if otherwise the meat is going to get ruined by tomorrow. Which says the Prima Gonim says that that's when you have a lot of time. But it's slechted right before nightfall, and you can't eat only a kazayis, then you're not allowed to skin it. I guess because you don't need to skin to get the most of the kazayis of meat. You can eat more. Mishnah Berurah says that if, however, these are circumstances and it's going to go bad, so then you're allowed to. You're allowed again. You're going to eat more than his ice, at least, or suit eat more than his ice, and you can also skin it. Or it says but to move around the hide after you skin it, loitir. They didn't allow it. Mishum muktzah. Instead of being muktzah, again, sure, unless you left one limb still connected to the hide. Because in that case, Amit says basar. Well, you have a little meat on the hide. Without the or, you can carry the hide. Agab basar, as piggybacked on the meat. Even though by normal shchita they allowed you to take the skin and even put it in front of the person who works it and pounds it. They permitted the end process about saving the hide. So people would do the beginning process, which is shechting cover similar to yontif. Because I'm seeing tough side test. The zel came in shachita mishum simchas yontif. The shchita is on account of yontif. We have to. We're compelled to be matir. Looking at the we have to matzah to deal with the hide, because otherwise it's not geshech. The loksha shchita who we may have seido. No. Loksha shchita which we may have seido the gam below zeishchot, but they didn't allow you to deal with the hide when you're shechting anyway because you lost, and you're going to shech no matter what, even if nothing to do with the hide. I'm not sure. I guess somehow that he knows that we know we've isolated case of Sukenes from the issue of Simchas Yontif. The Matzah issue knows they to also have Shita Legamre. You can't completely skin it. In this manner, It's not shechted because it's simchas yontif, but because of the danger. It's in the chen royal oros. It's appropriate to make to be machmir, not to skin the animal. Mishabur writes, Simon Gavram El Yerabah and other Achraim that the Mechaber is the Ikra Din, and you can't skin it, but Chatchila should be careful and not do it. And if if you skin it through a shinui, such as with a thorn, with a stick, in which case there is only an Isser Shvus here, an Isser Rabbanan, then in this case you don't do Machmir. Yeah. Tesva. Shishoy ben beyond so when you check the animal outside in the field on Yontif. I feel ben bria, even if it's a healthy animal, Mishum Simchas Yontif, Shadaka Simchas Yontif, Kankam Leviana Mot, shouldn't bring it out back into the city on a rod. The Derek shows him like you bring it back on a weekday, you may still Yontif, because it's too public. Max Yontif. If you ain't the other don't bring it whole on a rod, bring it limb by limb. And pursue it cook was not so publicized. Koshke Mishoyim Sketchum Hefsay. So if you shech the animal danger because of loss, you certainly should not be mazals and yontif. You should not make a big spectacle. Even though this might cause you to go back and forth several times, and increases your walking time. If you used a what I called before, pole, stick, you were able to take the whole thing once. It's better to walk more times. You saw so called and carry it like you do on a weekday. Because that would make a mockery of Yontif. The Halacha says also you shouldn't bring it to the city or to Shusarabim in this manner because of this Marasayin type of thing. If you can't bring it limb by limb, such as you have to bring make it tomorrow to guests, so then you can bring it by a rod. Sharatin says you can bring a healthy animal by a rod with a shinoi, especially where you can't or not able to bring it limb by limb. Okay, Arukh HaShulchan doesn't necessarily disagree, just to get to this level of detail. Bishop Rosite said from or Zeru, it's clear by an animal danger, you can't be lenient to bring it on a rod, on a stick, even for guests. That's basically here in the Midrash Arukh HaShulchan. Even though that's you're going to have to go several times, and you're making longer walking. By having it on the stick, you'll be able to carry one swell swoop. Nevertheless, it's better to do more walking. We saw so than to carry the way you do on weekday, because it makes a mockery of Yontif. A bird which is had been clawed at, and it's possible that it is its limbs have been broken. You have to have some weight for 24 hours. You should check it. You check it, the internal organs after shchita. Interesting, Mr. Brewer wants to say, since we don't check the other organs, just the lung, so we don't have this halacha, which means that we'd have to be machmir no matter what, and not check the yontif. But the Arukh HaShulchan doesn't say, he says, mutter shach the yontif. Allow shach the yontif. Lo chayshinan, they're not concerned, Shemini wants to trefa, they might be found to be trefa. I've got to tell you, Reusa, it was not the Arukh HaShulchan speaking, it's the Torah Shulchan Aruch. Okay, never mind. Even though there's a question, nevertheless, let's go and check it. I'm going to show you. Now the Russian speaking. Since that Cheskas Kashus, you have to check them. We follow the Chazaka. Chazaka Mikach Rov, and this Chazaka is based on a Rov. Show Behemoth Kreisen, because most animals are kosher. So So like any animal where it requires the lung to be checked, and then nevertheless, in goes with the shochet after shachan yontif. We shoot them some chinarua because they're on the rope. Chinam kenu. Here it's also the same thing. Bav gav lo dam, even though it's not comparable. Sharei yisrael yerusa. Here there's a cause for suspicion. Come call lo chesed never start concern. The cause match reis on his bara, as long as there isn't a definitive report of the whatever negative occurrence befell it. Mukina chazaka, as long as it's not reported distinctly or definitively, we keep the animal with the chazaka. We said earlier that if you have a calf, which is born on Yontif, unless we don't know that it's definitely a complete term, you're not allowed to shecht it. This is a general decree because Rabbanan made the decree Shivas Yomim, anything which hasn't been 7 days, any animal which not 7 days out of the womb, have a nefel. It's considered like a miscarriage. But I'm so you're now shechting a weekday. I rare some creation with the bechol, but if it's a coincidental problem, which is also mutter which is mutter on a weekday, then mutter gam yontif. It's also mutter on yontif to shech. Yuday. I very simply it's a rare stuff. It's to say where there's a cause suspicion you can't shech. Some places where there are prevalence of trephus, called ksheros. It's like 50-50. Also shlot b'yontif, now the shech yontif. So it says the mice that are concerned. We should take this into account and be machmir even by 50-50. It says Mokum Tzogolo is not sure, and that is the half which are trephus are absolutely treif, mahadrin. But if only because the chum is about chronim, then you shechting yontif if it's the tzorech, and it's also by mesukenes on account of the fear of loss of money. Okay. So there's a lot of people. You have the Taz named Haran or Zerua Yam Shishlema Mag Abram named Agos Shri. Hold that where's the radio so you can't shech. Uvemes Emi again the Shlobi Yontif. And Jews' army is not to shech Yontif, which makes all this moot. And we come calling out that Bechreach never said it's compelling reason shech we do shech. The linear rat, and it seems the Lam Mishum the Tam Chashash Isser no Gim Shlobi Yontif. Not because we're afraid of violating a prohibition that we don't shech Yontif. Shay offers Masim B'chol Yom to Shochtim. We don't check the animals, we check the chickens. Also by animals, not because of prohibition of shechita. It's hard to sell yontif. There's no refrigeration, right? It's difficult because it's so without a language of sale and without using proper weights. Yeah. And a generic statement. So you never shechted, should not shecht for the first time. Yontif, the Olu Kalkel actually is more likely to ruin and to cause tarfus. And that's the Shari Chuba, and says, Ayin Shagas Ari, Shech Lochir, Dein Yisra Shchop, and Yipsa. There's no prohibition to shecht where there's a Reusa. So be more meticulous if you're checking out. Very short. First opinion.